Hello students, today's our topic is Raman spectroscopy. Hanji students, Raman spectra in previous spectra we studied about the absorption spectra, but in the case of Raman spectroscopy we deals with the scattering of light, not its absorption. When a monochromatic light is passed through a substance, a small fraction of light is scattered. Almost the entire scattering radiations has frequency equal to that of incident radiations, then we called it relay scattering. But if the sum if the frequency is lower or higher than the previous incident frequency, then we called it the Raman scattering or the Raman effect. Here we saw the three cases. In case 1, where incident frequency is equals to the scattering frequency. Second case is when the incident frequency is lower than the scattering frequency. And the third is the incident frequency is greater than the scattering frequency. When the incident frequency equals to the scattering frequency, then we called it relay scattering, and the lines and the spectral lines appearing at the spectra is called the relay lines. When the frequency we get of the scattering light is lower, then we call the lines as Stokes lines, and when the lines at higher frequency, then these are called the anti-Stokes lines. The difference between del nu equals to nu I minus nu s is called as the Raman frequency or Raman shift. Now we explain the Raman effect. In Raman effect, we can explain it on the basis of Planck's quantum theory of radiation. According to Planck's quantum theory, when a photon attack to a nuclei, then some frequency is absorbed or some frequency is emitted. In same this case, if the frequency of incident radiations equals to the frequency of scattered radiations, then this type the scattering is called the relay scattering. Here we saw in the figure point B. In relay scattering case, the molecule in the ground state, when it absorbs the radiations, then it becomes in excited state and scatters the radiations and get back to the ground state. In this case, incident frequency is equals to the scattering frequency, then this type of scattering is called as the relay scattering. In second case, case A, when molecule in the ground state, when it absorb a photon, and then the emitted radiation then the frequency of the scattering radiations is less than the frequency of incident radiations, then this type of scattering is known as Stokes scattering. And in figure C, we saw the molecule already present in an first excited state, and then it absorbed the photon, and after scattering, then the molecule come back into the ground state. Then in this case, the frequency of incident radiations is less than the frequency of scattering radiations. Then this type of case is known as anti-Stokes lines. Next is the concept of polarizability in Raman spectra. We know in the previous lectures that a molecule show the spectra when it have a permanent dipole moment or some type of dipole moment. In the case of Raman spectra, when a molecule interact with the electric field of electromagnetic radiations, it undergoes distortion in its electron cloud, resulting in the formation of a dipole moment. The molecule is then called as a polarized molecule, and the dipole moment is known as induced dipole moment. We show it here with mu, and mu equals to alpha E. Here E is the strength of electric field and alpha is the polarizability of the molecule. In the case of spherically symmetrical molecules like CH4, CCl4, in these type of molecules, when electric field applied, then this field displays the molecules symmetrically in all the directions, and there is no permanent change in its dipole moment, and the same polarizability is induced whenever b directions of the applied electric field. Such type of molecules called as isotropically polarizable. But all diatomic molecules like H2, CO, HCl, etc., and the linear polyatomic molecules like CO2, CH, triple bond CH, etc., are the non-spherical molecules. In these type of molecules, when we applied the electric field, then the molecules are more easily displaced when electric field applied is parallel to the bond, and when it is applied perpendicular to it. Such molecules are called the anisotropically polarizable. The electric field vector E is given as E equals to E naught sine 2 pi nu t. E naught is the amplitude of the oscillating electric field, and nu is the frequency of incident radiations. When we put the value in our first equation, then we find that the nu equals to alpha E naught sine 2 pi nu t. We know in the vibrating molecules with induced dipole moment, mu emits radiations of frequency. Mu emits the radiations of frequency nu. When the frequency is same, then this type of scattering is known as the Rayleigh scattering. But when a molecule show vibrations and rotations, then the polarizability of the molecule changes as the molecule undergoes vibrational or rotational motion. According to this, when the polarizability is changed, then the dipole moment also changed. Then in this case, we show the alpha equals to alpha naught plus beta sine 2 pi nu and t, where alpha naught is the equilibrium polarizability and beta is the rate of change of polarizability with the vibration. When we put all these values, then we find the final equation mu equals to alpha naught E naught sine 2 pi nu t plus beta E naught sine 2 pi nu t sine 2 pi nu and t. Using the trigonometric reaction, we find the final answer nu equals to alpha naught E naught sine 2 pi nu t plus half beta E naught cos 2 pi mu minus mu n t minus cos 2 pi mu plus mu n t. Then the final equation we saw, then the three type of frequencies we get. First is the mu, which is the equals to the incident frequency, then this case equals to a Rayleigh scattering. In second, we find that mu minus mu n, and in third case we find mu plus mu n. When mu minus mu n, then the scattering is Stokes scattering, Stokes lines we get, and when the mu plus mu n, then we get the anti-Stokes lines.